It's Gorman in the morning with Fletcher and Ryder. Now, 92 KQRS.
Airbnb's been around since 2008. It was always very simple. You just want to go to a town, you get on the app, you find an apartment or a house, and it's got plumbing, it's got a bed. Boom, take it. Boom.
Done.
No
You
hotels
just
to mess with.
other people.
What's that?
In the Airbnb, you'd get like one room.
Yeah, right. That's
Crazy.
exactly right. They've been expanding over the years. Last year, they had this whole iconic location thing where you could stay in like Reese Witherspoon's guest house. Like,
what?
Really? There were some weird ones like that where I thought, that's odd.
There was like the Prince house from Purple Rain, I believe.
That's right. Yeah, they did that. There was one where Gwyneth Paltrow, you could stay in her guest house, and she would come and have a glass of wine with you. Suddenly, it was like, wait, what? Something like that. Now they're adding to this. Airbnb is adding a new group of experiences. They call them very Class A experiences. They're like, okay, you know what? If you're going to get an Airbnb in Rome, we'll throw in a pasta making class.
Sure.
Well, that's kind of cool. I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
But now they're saying, you know what? Screw that. We're going to give you, how about this? How about a day throwing football, playing catch, and eating barbecue with Patrick Mahomes?
Okay.
Okay.
Wow. All right. Yeah,
Is it still cool? Like, he's getting paid tons of money to be there. Is that still cool?
Begs the question, Patrick Mahomes, what, you don't have anything else to do that day?
Yeah.
How much money is enough money before you don't go, yeah, let me do this? I realize we're all brand building and all this, but you just got your ass handed to you in a Super Bowl, dude. Let's go. If you're going to be if you're still trying to be the GOAT, I don't want you hanging out with some fan from Montana eating barbecue. Get back to camp, dude.
You would think that or, spending time with his kids, you think that would come before this?
I don't know. I mean, maybe not.
He just
Maybe.
So if you-
appreciates the fans that much.
If you buy the Patrick Mahomes experience, do you just put him in a car and drive him straight to Andy Reid's house and be like, let's go, man? It's
That'd
time
be
to
fine.
practice?
Yeah. I don't know. I guess there's a reason I'm not known for my brand. Because like the second I get a little bit of breathing room, I'm like, everyone get the hell away from me.
Yeah.
I don't want to hang out with some fan and throw footballs and eat barbecue. What the hell? What is it worth? They're not saying what that costs, but he is available. By the way, Sabrina Carpenter, Megan Thee Stallion, big pop stars also lining up to be a part of Airbnb's experience packaging.
This is I'm truly dumbfounded by this. It's funny, we get paid to have an opinion on this stuff. I got nothing because it's like, why? It just doesn't make sense.
I mean, if money and like Dead or Alive were no option, I would definitely take some drinking lessons with Lemmy.
No, see, that would be fun. That'd be cool.
Amazing.
All right, so you get one experience, Dead or Alive. Yours is Lemmy. You get one.
Oh,
Don't think Blink. Who you going?
Oh, Dead or Alive? Well, I didn't think about it that way. So in the interest of moving things along, I'll just say it's lame compared to Lemmy.
Okay.
But
Everything's going to be lame compared to Lemmy.
that's a good
fair.
point.
I want to
That's a good
cook with Chef Ramsay.
Oh, really?
I think that'd be badass.
All
like
right.
a sweet house like at Santa Monica or something like that.
Do you want him to talk crap? Like, can you put the bread on the
Yeah, he
sides of
can
your
call me
head and call you an idiot sandwich?
He can call me a donut. That's fine. Or you cow.
Man.
Yeah.
Give me a day at Woody Creek with Hunter Thompson. I'm good. That's my
that'd be
day.
very cool.
That's my day. That's my
like
day
that.
right there.
Yeah, that'd be.
Connect with us on the KQ Talkin' text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
Francis Albert Caliendo.
What's the Francis Albert? What's
Sinatra-esque.
is that what it is? Because I hear that, like, you're not the only person who's ever done that, and some people just call me Francis Albert.
The chairman of the board, Francis Albert. Go ahead, make the change legal, make it official.
When I was in Vegas, people started about Frank's back in Vegas when I was doing a show. There were
not nice.
There's some of my own people did not want that to happen, if you know what I mean. Frankie Calamari, that's what we're talking about. Things are not going to be good here, right? Let's not pull any of that stuff. Yeah, they're like, we can't do that. And do you have blue eyes? Yeah, even worse. So.
Yeah, right. Frank Caliendo's at Acme tonight, but if you don't have tickets, you're not going to see him because
tough beans,
that's how that works. But you still got up and you still came in.
Yeah,
and
you're a good friend.
To see you, brother.
I think last time we might have only had a couple tickets left. I believe in this whole thing of when people help you out, the idea is to come around, and I don't want to call it payback, but you've helped me out, so to come in here was something, and people who couldn't get tickets this time will know next time, and
That's
try and get in earlier next time type of thing. So
that's exactly how that works.
Yeah, not everybody understands that though.
There's a lot of missed connections out there, if you will.
Yeah.
But you leave the breadcrumbs, and sometimes people just don't recognize the trail.
Yeah, and I'm call me Hansel.
See,
it's Hansel and Gretel, man.
There it is.
I tell you what, man. I was John Gruden on that. I was Hansel and Gretel, man. Little spider. It's so great for me when people, if they get canceled, they come back, and Gruden is back, and now he's opening up boxes. For people who don't know, John Gruden specifically. He was at the time the youngest winning Super Bowl coach with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah.
And they call him Chucky. And the reason they call him Chucky because he looks like that killer doll, man.
He does.
That's a tough guy. That's a tough kind of thing there, man. So now he's working for Barstool Sports and opening up boxes constantly. And opens up a box. You know what's inside this box? There's another box. Then inside that box, there's another box. This is blowing my mind, man. What's inside all these boxes? He gets in a Chucky doll, man. It's like me looking at me, man. It's just like Inception. You ever see Inception, man? It's pretty good. Leonardo DiCaprio, man. This guy did a tremendous job. You can't tell if he's in the dream or if he's not in the dream or what's going on. But if that top's spinning, I think it kind of clears your mind.
My mind, I'm just picturing Vince Lombardi, God rest his soul, if he were able to if he could just come back for one day. Say, hey, let me see what some of the coaches are doing in their free time. What are they working on?
Well, that was a concept, not Lombardi, but Madden talking about the current NFL. Mm-hmm. I was doing that the other night. I was in Wisconsin, and I mentioned Aaron Rodgers, and just the room deflated, like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
And I said,
it's like a fart in church.
Yeah, you got a guy that you got the light over here and the darkness over there. This guy's going to the darkness. And at the darkness retreat. There's no treat if he's there. That's going to be you're going to have a lot of explaining to do afterward. That's just Aaron Rodgers being Aaron Rodgers.
Now, I know these tickets are sold out, but I want to make an observation really quick for people the next time Frank comes through town. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, you've seen this on TV, you've seen it on Instagram, whatever. Seeing it face to face is a whole nother experience.
It is a little weird because people
you get more of the nuance of your face and whatnot. So get seats next time and get them up close.
And the switching is the thing. The switching from voice to voice is the thing that people always, they don't, because you can't tell when things are edited and stuff on television or on social media. Yeah.
So when I'm going from Morgan Freeman to John Gruden to John Madden to Jeff Goldblum, it's
surprising to people that it's like flipping the channels. Yes. Ooh, very good. My newest observation on Jeff Goldblum is he's basically a tourist and a tour guide at the same time. Like, ooh, what's that? Ooh, I'll tell you. That right great. There is what? Let me finish. The Statue of Liberty given to us, the people of the United States, as a gift by the people of France. I wonder this. They say this, lightning, what? Lightning never strikes twice in the same place. That's what they say, isn't it? Yes, of course. Go on. But I wonder if the Statue of Liberty has ever been struck by lightning, and guess what? It has over 500 times. Ooh, proving that to be completely wrong. Ooh, and guess what? Lady Liberty will find a way to survive. I brought it back to Jurassic Park. I did it. Very good.
How long do you have to study somebody to really feel like to your standard?
Oh, it's constant because they're always getting better. But if I can't do the impression dead on, I try to turn it into a cartoon character.
Right, sure.
And that makes it funny.
Yeah, 100%.
So
so just about anybody's within reach as long as
I think fairly. I don't
that.
do any female voices. Not very good at that.
Right.
But. Yeah, I think there's something comedically you can do. But here's the other difficult part. When you do impressions, as soon as you say a name, people think you're going to do the impression of that person. I'm like, no, I'm just making a reference to that person. They're like, they're waiting for it to go, and it would go something like this. No, I was just making a reference to a person. So
I know you don't have a list written down of check marks before you take on a new voice. They have to have this many viral moments, or they have to be in this many hit movies. That said, what's the last new voice that you're working on? Because I imagine a lot of people hit your consciousness, they hit your radar, and you probably don't even know you're doing it like in a linear fashion. Your subconscious is constantly
it's like the Predator breaking it down in front of me like an infrared thing.
You're like, am I going to jump on that voice? Is there enough? Will everyone know who it is? I mean, there's like
there's
a
lot.
Algorithm
there is a lot
going on
to
it.
Movies are better than television because television is so segmented in terms of audience. Movies hit a much broader audience.
Yeah.
television's programmed directly to people, although streaming is a little broader now and closer to movies. But one of my favorite shows, I don't have a bit to do with them, but Better Call Saul was one of my favorite shows, and I just learned to go, did you know that you have rights? The Constitution says you do. Hi, I'm Saul Goodman. And that's all I can really do. But it's nailed for certain people. But within that audience, it kills. Yeah. But outside that audience, you're like, I don't know. So it's not as broad as even a Breaking Bad is, which is the predecessor to. So yeah, there's with sports people, it's do they do commercials? That's what made me understand the Charles Barkley, because he was doing the $5 box it rocks. You know, there was those Taco Bell commercials and stuff like that. When you see somebody, even going back to Madden, Ace is a place. That means you're not just in sports, you're also broader to the you're broadening out the audience. Household names. Yeah, I think so. Even Tony Romo doing Skechers. Oh, look at these Skechers, Jim. They look so good. Here we go, Jim. Tony.
Well, everybody's got the same. Like in my mind, it was always, well, if my mom knows who this person is, you know, and it's.
Yeah, I think that's tougher though. Now, I think in our generation, our time growing up, I think there was more of that. But I think. My mom, although my mom is about 80 years old, and she probably does know more than in a different way because things are coming across her Facebook feed or stuff like that. My mother-in-law I can think of knowing, like, my son sent me a video of my mother-in-law who's at our house for some reason. I don't know. We don't got to get into that. Yeah, no. But careful. But he just zoomed in on what she was looking at her phone. Stephen A. Smith was on her phone. And there's no way she knows anything about Stephen A. Smith, except for the fact that I may be running for president of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands. But just to see that juxtaposition of Stephen A. Smith on her phone, not a sports person at all. I was just like, oh, my gosh, that tells me what's going on at my house while I'm not around.
That's pretty good. Pretty good.
Her son gives her a little leg up, though, too, I think, probably on recognizing some of these people that she wouldn't otherwise.
Well, that's my mother-in-law. No, I don't think so. Okay. I mean, she watches very different things than I do. But some things might come across because she knows me. Maybe the algorithm, you know how your phone's always listening. Sure. If I do a Liam Neeson, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. And then his next movie's coming out with him on a Zamboni taking a call. You know, we're moving slowly.
92 KQRS.
Curious about your bizarre food combinations. What does it say about you? How weird are you? Let's just get right to it. Weird food combinations. There's one I want to share with you that is quite sincerely turning my stomach. But before I do that, I noticed when I got to Minnesota a few years ago, a lot of pickles. If you can eat, if there's nothing people won't add a pickle to in the state of Minnesota. I was unaware of that till I got here.
Grilled cheese, game on. Grilled cheese and pickles, let's do it.
That was not new to me. The pickle and peanut butter thing was
peanut
a
butter
shock.
Pickle sandwich is the best. My dad grew up on those pretty much.
And I've seen so many places you can add. I had a bite of a peanut butter pickle bacon cheeseburger up in Brainerd a couple years ago, and it was shockingly wonderful. And I thought to myself, I'm not going to order one of these because if I do, I'll eat it the whole thing. And I just wanted one bite to satisfy my curiosity, and it turned out to be pretty great. But there's some odd ones.
You know what my 8-year-old likes?
What's that?
You know what my 8-year-old does?
I do not.
It's pickles dipped in applesauce.
Pickles and applesauce.
And she's been eating it since she was 4 or 5 years old. And
the sweet and the tart, if you will.
I don't know.
The yin and yang.
I can't get my head around it. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Daddy, can I have some applesauce and pickles? It's a meal that I think best represents the duality of mankind's nature.
That's exactly what she said, actually.
Yeah,
she was 5.
I can see it.
Yeah.
What about this one? This is one that I had never heard of this until I was probably in my 30s, and that is a piece of American cheese melted on top of a piece of apple pie. You ever had that?
What?
I have not had that, no.
There are people who will put just a straight-up slice of American cheese on apple pie.
No.
And that's a thing that, and it's attributed to, it's a northern thing, more like a northeastern thing.
Okay.
But down south, you'd be like, you can be run out of town for doing such a thing.
Sure.
Bizarre. Mama spends all that time getting that apple pie just right, and you put a piece of cheese on it. Well, you're going to get a fight. You're looking for a punch to the jaw there, buddy.
Yeah, those are fighting actions. almonds. Or something.
I've seen olive oil ice cream. Never tried it. Never would. Just certain things I'm not willing to cross up. But there's a lot of these combinations that are that you find them. Sometimes you don't even mean to. You just find yourself, I don't know, stoned as a wiffle ball bat, putting things in your mouth at the same time and recognize, hey, this is pretty darn good.
That's when the best things go in your mouth is when you're stoned as a wiffle ball bat.
I'm trying to imagine a wiffle ball bat stoned.
This text just came in. Peanut butter, cheese, jalapeno, pickles, hot sauce, or cayenne pepper all rolled up in a tortilla.
Oh, game on.
That's getting it. That's the kind of thing you do when you want to flush out your taste buds. You just want to reset the deck, I think.
Cleanse the palate fully.
How about this from David on the text line? Peanut butter and Miracle Whip sandwiches are surprisingly good.
I've heard that before, yes.
Creamy and creamy. I don't know if I can go... Miracle Whip?
That's pretty rough, man. Well, I don't do Miracle Whip or mayonnaise. I'm not a... I will do mayonnaise like inside the chicken salad or egg salad. You know, when you have to put it in something and whip it all up.
Right.
Yep.
Tuna salad a little bit in there. But like just on a sandwich, putting mayonnaise on a piece of bread, it turns my stomach.
Well,
There's
a big difference between like homemade from scratch mayo and Miracle Whip, obviously. I mean, they're two different animals.
Okay.
And so I can't like proper mayo and peanut butter.
Who's making mayonnaise at home? Homemade from scratch.
Any decent restaurant's got from scratch mayo.
Oh, I thought okay.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying at home,
Right.
but I'm just saying.
I mean, I got to buy the jar at the grocery store. I'm definitely not doing made from scratch at home.
No, I'm just saying that the Miracle Whip tastes different, and I don't know. Like, I guess what my point was is that I could maybe hear peanut butter and like proper mayo.
Yeah,
but peanut butter and Miracle Whip specifically.
How about salted peanuts in a Coke? Big thing down south. You get your Coke, you just pour a bunch of peanuts in there, and then as you're sipping, if you get in your mouth, you crunch them.
All the crap that Coke has added to their sodas over the last few years, many of it, I would say, no, that's awful, and then it ends up being good. I'm not going to doubt your peanuts.
No, it's strong. Jake texted in, my grandmother used to say, apple pie without the cheese is like a kiss without the squeeze. Wow. No idea. See, I'm telling you, man.
Okay, then.
Wow.
Okay, pickle dipped in Kool-Aid. Yeah, pickle with that. If you like pickles, nothing's going to get in the way of that. I actually want to go back. I could see the pickles and applesauce. I could see myself even trying that one day. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
it's kind of appealing to me. I never once put pimento cheese into my mouth until I was in my 30s. It just looked gross to me. And I like cheese.
It does look.
I can see the
pimento cheese spread. I was like, that is the most horrifying thing ever. And the first time I ever had pimento cheese, I had a piece of ham rolled, or pimento cheese with jalapenos, like hot pimento cheese wrapped in a roll of ham, in a piece of ham. I'm sorry, rolled in a slice of ham is what I'm trying to say. And I ate that and thought, oh my God, just kill me right now. This is the apex of culinary delights.
The first time I tried the pickle roll up, I mean, at the State Fair, but I tried it way before that. The like beef with cream cheese and pickle, that kind of sounded disgusting to me. And like that was my first foray, probably because that was 25 years ago. First foray into weird combos, but that one works. That one's out. The pickle roll up at the State Fair is something that pretty strong. Yeah, I'm watering right now.
Another text. Grandma put sliced cheddar on banana bread. Grandma, come on, man.
Wow.
Ooh, my grandmother, Gertrude.
That's bizarre.
Matriarch of the Gorman clan, Gertrude, old Gertie over there, all 5'10" of her, large woman in Detroit, Michigan. She would turn up the pickle jar, just suck that juice down like there was no tomorrow, man. When there's no pickles, she would just chug that pickle juice. Yes. And she would always say, like, I never get a cold. And I was like, even at like 6, I was like, I don't know that pickle juice keeps you from getting a cold. I think it's just your general ass-kicking demeanor.
Well, doesn't it have like a crap load of electrolytes or something?
It probably does.
Before Gatorade was Gatorade, everybody had to chug some pickle juice.
Oh, is that true?
I think so.
That's a pretty good one. 651-989-ROCK. Call or text your bizarre food combinations. Boy, you guys are weird. We got a million out here. Pickle wrapped in cream cheese and dried beef from the jar. Okay, that's a bit of work. How about this? This all started because there's a restaurant in Charleston, South Carolina that's letting the world know they've got a new item on their menu. The guy that runs the joint said, I realized nobody's got any sort of a dessert oyster on their menu. Let's just pause and think about that. Dessert oysters. And that's not a euphemism like, that's not like a Rocky Mountain oyster. No, he means literal oysters in the shell, like seafood for dessert. So he has introduced something. The restaurant's called Fleet Landing. They've introduced smoisters. A smoister is a mashup of an oyster and a s'more.
Oh, this is so messed up.
Like a real oyster.
An oyster on the half shell, topped with Hershey's chocolate, crumbed up graham crackers, and a tiny marshmallow. And then they torch the marshmallow to brown the top of it.
Okay.
So after you've had a giant seafood dinner, you have a seafood dessert, a smoister. And I think you have to pronounce it like that. Can I have the smoisters?
Yeah.
Yeah, that checks out. The math is correct on that. I'm trying to just internally imagine the tastes, the palate stretch of oyster to chocolate.
I've had s'mores and I've thought, man, this is real sweet. And I'm definitely a salty person.
Me too.
So this raw oyster is going to add some of that saltiness to the s'more.
Right.
So I'd give it at least one go.
Give it a go?
Even though it's like a seafood burger or booger, I would definitely.
It's definitely that.
It is.
We'll do the one time.
I mean, I'm a fan of oysters. I don't have them often, but when I do, and I enjoy it, and it's about the hot sauce and the other, it's a different thing. It's like the idea of adding the sweet to it. I'm with you, Ryder. I'm a salt guy. I don't go for sweets, generally speaking, all that often. So this one's just way out of bounds for me. Not
I'm
a
wondering
chance.
I wonder if the chocolate and marshmallow and graham crackers cover up all of the other flavors, and you just get the salt. So then you're getting a salty s'more. With a little bit of slime.
You know what I would do if I wanted a salty s'more is I'd make a s'more and I'd just shake some salt on it.
Oh,
I'd just let that one go.
I think I'm with Ryder. I think she actually sold me on it. I think I would try this. I'm not going to Charleston anytime soon to try it, but
No.
if somebody here were to put this on the menu, I might give it a try.
You know who lives in Charleston? Your buddy Bill Murray. Maybe, you guys met last week. You had a big moment with Bill.
Yeah, it was like a 3 to 5 minute. We didn't exchange addresses.
He didn't say
unfortunately.
come down for some smoisters?
No, he didn't.
Wow.
I was hoping that he would, but he never did.
On the KQ Talking text line, Rose wrote, check this out. My daughter's best friend would always get 2 slices of garlic bread and put a piece of chocolate cake in the middle of it.
Wow.
She ate it all like nothing. 2 pieces of garlic bread surrounding chocolate cake. That's, again, you're looking for the salt and the sweet and the whole business
carbs,
right there.
yeah.
The
But garlic is so much more than just sodium. I don't know about that. And chocolate cake?
I'd
give it a go.
Pretty clear.
Is there anything you wouldn't try?
Is there anything I wouldn't try?
Yeah.
Yeah, anything with eggs in it. Or anything that tastes like eggs.
You're just trying to save money, or you don't like eggs?
No, I just don't like eggs.
Really?
They smell like freaking sulfur.
It's the first time this has ever come up. You don't eat eggs of any sort ever.
No scrambled, no hard boiled.
Wow.
None of that garbage. Yeah, because it's just the pungent, it's sulfury, and ugh.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, she's got good points. I still love them, but she's got good points.
There's no such thing as too many eggs in a day. No, I like them all. I like poached eggs. I like hard boiled eggs. I like soft boiled eggs. I like fried eggs over easy, sunny side up, runny as hell. Just burnt to a you can't mess up an egg.
You
in
know
my
what we
world.
should have done just now? We should have paused the show for 1 second, found a stopwatch, and we should have played the game of how many eggs can you name in 10 seconds. Because you just did. You went on a roll just now. We should have made a game out of it.
One of the great Gorman childhood memories was my brother Jim saying to my brother Dave, if you scramble a dozen eggs and eat it, I'll give you $20. Because Dave was talking about how much he loved scrambled eggs. And Jim said, just scramble up a dozen and wolf them down, and I'll give you $20. And my brother Dave did that. He scrambled a dozen eggs and ate the whole thing. And then, of course, the response from Jim was, I'm not giving you $20. What's wrong with you? And it turned into, it went on for days. The pain and.
You just got so much protein. You don't need $20.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
There's a new movie coming out soon, and I want to play you a quick little clip here because one of our favorite actors is coming back yet again. And he is, he's usually off the reservation, and this time, just take a quick listen and tell me if you think you might know who this is.
This is interesting. This book, this is Bible.
Okay.
Could you even tell what he was freaking saying?
I heard something about a book.
This Bible.
Yeah.
I want to see him go 90 minutes in character if that's the voice. We'll find out soon enough. I'm curious if anybody knows exactly who we're talking about. 651-989-ROCK is the KQ Talking text line. I'll just tell you, here are the texts we've just received. Steven Tyler, Harry Belafonte, Gary Busey, Bill Duke from Predator, Nick Nolte. What in the world are people replying to? What do you think would get those gentlemen all in the same text thread? It's this. It's a movie that's coming out very soon with an actor we're all very familiar with, and now his new character. It's not even so much about his personality, but listen to this voice.
This is interesting. This book. This is Bible.
I also got Tommy Chong. Somebody called in and said Tommy Chong.
Tommy Chong? Okay.
Like, you need to watch more Cheech and Chong movies.
Yeah, no kidding. Maybe Tommy Chong in his sleep sounds like that.
I think it's what's interesting is when you do know who it is, though, you can like it. You hear his voice in there, but if I didn't know who it was, I'm not sure I would have any clue.
I just want to know how many takes of each scene were shot. How long was the shoot? Because keeping that voice up for any amount of time,
right?
Ooh, and boy, that's going to grate on your nerves if it's a big part in the movie. But let's just cut right to it. This is a film called Gunslingers.
Okay.
Gunslingers will be out in theaters and on digital April 11th. That would be our good friend Nicolas Cage.
Is he our good friend?
He's our good friend.
We got to get him on then soon.
Nick Cage, always still coming up somehow with a way to get attention for just simply doing his job. My man will throw himself into a part with no one's business. I first saw him in, I guess, Valley Girl was, I believe, the first time I saw him in a movie. And then of course, Raising Arizona just raised the bar entirely on his career.
The first time I saw him in a movie was The Rock. Sean Connery.
Wow, really?
That was a good flick. That was a good
later era. I
went back and watched Valley Girl and Raising Arizona and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the first Nick Cage movie I saw. And I didn't feel like he was that weird.
No, he was quirky and offbeat, and then the 80s quirky is post 2000 weird. That's how that goes.
It's Gorman in the morning with Fletcher and Ryder, 92 KQRS.
The Unison twins from Australia.
It's so freaky.
It's a very, very bizarre thing. First of all, let me say this. If you, listening to my voice right now, happen to be an identical twin, I would love to hear from you. 651-989-ROCK. Because this is just clearly the tip of the iceberg for these two women, 50-some-odd-year-old women in Australia who are identical twins, and they have been they have a little bit of a presence in Australia. They've been interviewed before. Yesterday, a big social media. What am I trying to say?
They went viral. They went viral as hell.
They went viral. There was an attempted carjacking that they were witness to, and when they were asked innocently, so what happened? It sounded like this.
And one guy, he was up there with our mum. He went up there and he was coming back down towards us. And he goes, "Run, he's got a gun." And our heart started to pound. And I said, "Oh, Mum, where's Mum?" And poor Mum was stuck up there. But apparently our brave Mum, she goes, "Are you all right?" Because he had all blood all over his face. And he goes, "I'll shoot you." She goes, "Hey, I'm here to help."
Okay, hey, really quick, Steve, you and me together. Run, he's got a gun, okay? Run! He was supposed to do it in unison.
He's got a gun.
He's got a gun.
The thing that blows my mind about this is this story is so crazy. There was a carjacker. He's holding up somebody else. And we're talking about these two women who talk at the same time.
A gentleman crashed a car into another car, a deadly car accident. He jumps out and then carjacks a passing by SUV. I mean, it's like a real... an explosion of crime. It's a Guy Ritchie movie.
I was gonna say it's an action sequence in a giant picture.
And all we care about is these two ladies in these weird hospital scrub looking things that run a bird sanctuary speaking together in unison.
We've seen the carjacking, the gun point, all that. We've seen that before. We haven't seen this much ever.
Pretty great. So I want to know just what twin experiences, man. I'm down for it. 651-989-ROCK. If you care to chime in, feel free to let us know what that's all about. 651-989-ROCK. By the way, we're hardly the only show of note discussing this. They got a phone call from Jimmy Kimmel himself discussing the unicorn, the Unison twins from Australia.
They're like unicorns.
They certainly are. The fact that they complete each other's sentences, they basically speak the same sentences in unison.
It's crazy.
Totally bizarre thing. I asked for a twin to call in, and we got one.
Wow.
Mark from Burnsville's on the horn. Mark, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Steve. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Are you a fraternal or an identical twin?
Identical.
Oh,
and
60 years old.
What have you got for us?
60 years.
What's that? I'm sorry.
We've been identical for 60 years.
Well, that's
All
how
right.
that works.
that's good. That's good.
So do you? I mean, we always hear these anecdotes and stories about how twins have such these connections that defy, what other people might think is rational. But so, are you and your twin oddly connected in unexpected ways?
We are. I was when I called in, I shared that we will dress alike and show up at a social event still to the day. Our parents did that when we were younger and we hated it. And yet today, when we have a choice, we still dress alike.
Wait a minute. So you'll show up at an event where you guys live separately, but you'll show up not knowing what the other's doing and be dressed the same.
That is correct.
And it's not planned, right?
Never planned. And then we kind of look at each other and give each other an odd look and kind of move on. When I was dating my wife 30 years ago, she came up to him thinking it was me, and as she went to put her arm around him, she got this weird aura that, well, it's not really Mark.
Mark, that's where I was going to go with this. Let's go back to younger years. Did you guys, there's a million tropes about pretending to be your twin to get out of a test or to on a dating situation. Did you guys ever have time? Did you pretend to be each other and get away with it?
Yeah, been there, done that. We were in high school, and my twin wanted to go and do something else, but he had an algebra class, and he asked me if I would go sit in class. Well, I went to school for academics. He went to school for the social aspect of it.
Okay.
Right.
So he told me exactly where to sit and what to do and all that. Well, when the teacher asked the question, I raised my hand, and the teacher said, where's your brother?
No.
Wow.
Really? Clever.
Wow. I guess it's probably one of those things. If people don't think about it,
it's an intuitive
they
feature.
they would get a sense, and then I'm sure people probably talked themselves out of thinking that was happening at the same time. Mark, thank you for the call, man. That is fascinating.
I'll tell you what. If I was an identical twin, if I had that experience, it would have been endless pranks. That's all they would have done were pranks.
I think so.
I mean, that's just like a massive opportunity that not a lot of people in existence get to take advantage of.
Did you guys see this documentary called 3 Identical Strangers from 8 or 9 years ago?
No, is it like doppelgangers?
It's triplets who are separated at birth.
Oh.
And they find each other later in life, and it's heavy. It's
powerful.
It's some of it's like that's really cool, and then some of it's really
intense and sad,
very intense. Yeah. Raised in 3 entirely different types of families, socioeconomic levels, like nothing nurturing similarities, and yet they had so much. They were so alike. Like the food they ate, the cigarettes they smoked. They were all high school wrestlers. Separation anxiety as kids throughout their childhoods. I mean, all these things pop up. It is truly fascinating.
You can rent it on Apple TV. It's also on the Tubi app if you want to get it. Yeah, like I'm totally intrigued. I want to watch this. Yeah.
Johnny research over there. Well done.
Oh yeah.
No, I appreciate that because I was going to remind myself I want to go probably check it out again.
Yeah, I wish it was on other more. But the beautiful thing about random platforms like Tubi, is you can go sign up for a trial, watch this thing, and then discontinue your trial and never pay a dime to see it.
Always cutting the corners.
Do something like that,
Of course,
he'll blame it on his evil twin if the Tubi cops show up.
Yeah. That was my twin.
You know how that works.
The Tubi cops. They have a police force, huh?
Of course they do. The Unison twins did get a call from the people at Jimmy Kimmel. I mean, one day they're watching a carjacking happen, and 2 days later they are on network television in the United States.
Joining us now from Queensland, Australia, Bridget and Paula Powers. Hello, Bridget and Paula. You really are twins. How is your mother?
Our mum is doing great. Yes, and
You know what? She said she's doing fine because she had 7 kids.
Well, you've caused quite a commotion with this video. When did you become aware that you had delighted the globe?
Well, when we heard from your show.
This seems like a comedy bit, but I know it's not. Do you speak in tandem on purpose?
No. This is us, and that's how we are. We know that we annoy a lot of people out there, but you know what? If they can't stand hearing us talk how we do, they can just simply turn off the TV.
Yep.
Hey, I love it. I don't find it annoying at all.
Man, I grew up with a bunch of brothers, and you know, I was in a family where we'd go to church on Sundays or wherever, and everybody knew I was a Gorman, but didn't know which one. You know, and we lived in a neighborhood full of large families, but it was like, oh, that's one of those Gormans. I mean, I heard that my whole life. That's one of those Gormans. And we did look alike, kinda, just the way normal siblings. You know, you can see. But the idea of going in public with someone that looks exactly like you, being everywhere, having somebody that is not your doppelganger, your same genetic, it's you basically, genetically speaking. That is, man, the more I haven't given this a thought in forever. Now I'm just blown away by you just think about the depth of experience you have. Like when you just said, if I had a twin, and it's like, well, you don't really know what it would be like, but we can all assume, it would just, there's no other way to, your worldview would be so different knowing that you're sharing everything with someone that, I don't know. It's just a fascinating thing.
It's going to change your overall perspective of everything. Yeah, and and as an outsider looking, you know, an outsider looking in, however the hell you want to say it, it's fascinating. I mean, every aspect of it is fascinating.
I don't know. One of me is enough.
Yeah,
that's true.
No one's arguing.
92 KQRS.
Beat the jock. Here's how it works. We will bring someone on the phone. They will choose to compete against either myself or Paul Fletcher. Okay. Ryder will give us each a category. The listener will go first. Then the jock will go. It's 20 seconds to give as many answers in the category as you can. And for the record, when the listener is giving their list, we will not be listening. Correct. We will remove our headphones, so we're flying blind as well. Okay, with that in mind, I believe I have explained that to a satisfactory level.
Yes,
let's start with Rose in Inver Grove Heights. Rose, good morning.
Good morning.
Rose, we'll just jump right in.
Okay, so Rose, your category is going to be things commonly stored in the garage. Do you want to play against Steve or do you want to play against Fletcher?
I think I'll go against Gorman.
Okay.
All right, I'm removing my headphones.
Off, man.
Okay, I'll help you keep track of score again.
Okay, please do. All right, Rose, you're going to have 20 seconds to name as many things as you can.
All right.
Ready?
Steve's got his headphones off.
Ready, set, go.
Tools, snowblower, lawnmower, cars, motorcycle, van, a workbench, radio, wrenches, screwdrivers, lawn chairs, bikes, wagon, kids stuff.
5 seconds. 3.
Rafters.
Boom.
All right. I have two things. Are we giving both of those that were the same? I don't want to give anything away with Steve.
What's the same? I don't know. Sorry.
There was, you know what? Whatever. She said car and van. Are we giving them both?
Oh.
Yeah, I think we're giving. I counted those both.
Okay, we're gonna be generous. All right, fair enough.
I didn't count when she said kids stuff.
I counted that. Okay. I also love that she said radio.
I got one in the garage. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
I got Rose coming in at 14. Fletcher, what do you got?
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
All right, there we go.
Okay, Steve's got his cans back on, ready to rock.
What's the number?
14 again. Same as last week.
Good Lord.
Yeah, she was rattling.
Come on, Rose. All right.
This is a real good number for you, Rose. I'm real stoked. I have a feeling that you are going to see Stevie Nicks, but let's see what Steve can do.
I hope so. I really want to go.
Okay, hang on. All right, Steve, reminder. The category is things commonly stored in the garage. Yep. Ready, set, go.
Gardening tools, Christmas decorations, toys, frozen items in your freezer, outdoor furniture, paint, gym equipment.
6 seconds.
Shoes, boots, accessories for the pool, Photos of your neighbor's wife naked. No, I don't know.
I gave him the last one. I gave him the last one.
Neighbor's wife naked?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I'll
if
leave
you
that
gave
one
me
too.
the last
I'm
one,
not-
then you
I'm
clearly
not
know I
doing-
didn't hit 14.
I'm not doing shoes or boots.
Yeah. Cars, vans.
Hold on. You don't
Workbenches.
keep shoes or boots in the garage?
No.
Not in the winter. It gets cold.
How are you going to get to them? I
Unless
do
it's
not
heated.
have an attached garage,
Neither
so
do
that's
I.
what I'm scoring.
I was picturing an attached. Okay, never mind. Fine, fair enough.
You know what, actually?
So what, I had 21.
You had 21 minus 10.
Hold on. Gardening tools. That's a hoe. That's a rake. That's your spade. That's a lot.
Easy on the hoe, bro.
Then you should have said hoe, rake, spade, and we would have gotten credit for that. But you lumped them all into one, and now you're stuck with.
Well,
Fletcher,
and-
did you say 11?
He had 11. Yep.
Are you counting shoes and boots?
Yeah, I counted shoes and boots, and I counted pictures of your next door neighbor naked because
Well, I counted those too, of course.
he wasn't getting there. He wasn't getting there, so I gave him all of them.
Well, I gave him 9, but it really doesn't matter because Rose, you're going to see Stevie next.
Rose, you performed like a you know what? Like the horses that'll be at the Kentucky Derby tomorrow. That you were a thoroughbred today.
Oh yeah.
I get,
Awesome.
I get, you know, like they always say, you got to get up pretty early in the morning to get one past Rose. And I just never knew what they were talking about. But now it finally makes sense, that old saying.
I think she was probably up at 3 a.m. preparing for this.
All right, Rose, congratulations. I know you're going to have a great time at the concert. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
0 for 2.
Yeah. I kind of like this game where we sit back and watch you sweat. It's kind of fun. It's a lot of fun.
It's I'm thrilled to give tickets away, but I also like to win.
Yeah,
So it's a bit of a I'm kind of a torn soul right now.
Yeah, and you were fighting for the garden stuff being multiple things. She said kids stuff, so we could have actually.
I didn't count kids stuff.
Yeah, well, I did, but I'm just saying if he gets multiple for that, then she would have gotten multiple, and it's a wash, is what I'm saying.
Well, listen, everybody who tried to get in there, thanks for calling. We're glad you're listening. And Rose, I know you're going to have a great time, and I'm going to try to relax and get over this, but I'm not going to lie. It pisses me off.
You like
Grumpy.
to win.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Ever walk into a bookstore, you're all excited, you're like, man, I'm just going to spend a little time, get off my phone. Throwback moment for me. Every time I walk into a bookstore, I have a little buzz of excitement because I just love to look at books. It's like a record store.
Yes.
Whether I buy anything or not, just flipping, looking, considering, reading a few pages, deciding what I want to do. Ever been in there and suddenly you go, where's the bathroom? I got to go. This is a phenomenon called the Mariko Aoki phenomenon. This was first identified in Japan in 1985. A woman named Mariko Aoki wrote into a magazine and shared the fact that every time she entered a bookstore, she was overtaken with an urge to poop.
Bookstores, though.
Bookstores.
Yeah.
And by the way, that letter was printed in the magazine, and then the following issue had many responses going, me too.
Really?
Me too.
Wow.
And it's
Yep.
become a well-known but not fully developed and researched phenomenon. And scientists and doctors have some weird theories here. I'm curious if anybody relates to this. 651-989-ROCK. Is this something you've ever experienced yourself? You are raising your hand, Paul. Yes.
That's because I do have experience with this.
Okay.
Not me.
Okay.
But my 12-year-old.
Okay.
And the first time it happened, I went, okay, well, whatever.
Yeah, you got to go.
But my wife is like insisted, no, this is a thing. I'm like, I'm not buying it.
Seriously.
Well, then 6 months later, once was at Barnes & Noble, another time at Hobby Lobby.
Okay.
And I think we've had four experiences, and it's not been like she takes a trip off every time we go to Barnes & Noble. I double checked with my wife. Home Goods, Barnes & Noble, and Hobby Lobby. Every time we go to those, the 12-year-old has to go to the
But
bathroom.
those aren't all bookstores, so what's happening
Right.
there?
I don't know. I mean, the only thing I can find is they say the smell of paper or ink having a laxative effect.
Okay.
Linking it to us like reading while we're on the toilet.
All right.
It's the only thing. I don't know. All I know is that I like scoffed at it at first and laughed at my wife, but now it's become so consistent. Every time we go, she has to go poop.
You know, it's some good habits are hard to break. I think I've not experienced this in bookstores. I have. If I go into a mall, I am immediately exhausted. Like I will if I'm in a mall or a big store like a big box store, not a box store. If I'm at like a Macy's or a Nordstrom's.
Sure, a department store.
Department, thank you. That's the word I was looking for. My wife knows all I'm looking for when I walk into one of those stores is a chair. My body literally runs out of steam if I have to be in a place like that. It's just a psychosomatic. It's just Pavlovian. It's whatever it is. But I cannot walk through stores. I just have to sit down, and I can close my eyes and fall right to sleep. I'm not kidding. I'm not exaggerating.
We do 2 trips a year to the Mall of America for the kids, and I'm the same way. It seems like within a half hour of being there, I'm ready for a nap. I've experienced that as well.
Oh,
That's why they started to throw those massage chairs up everywhere in the mall.
Andy just texted in. Every time I go into a library, the urge hits like a ton of bricks. That would explode. There's books, ink. It could be the same kind of thing.
Well, and with my kiddo, the Hobby Lobby, tons. If it is a smell of ink or paper, like scientists are guessing, there's a ton of that there.
I guess there is.
So, although it's not usually the overwhelming smell when I walk into a Hobby Lobby.
Another text just came in. The poop urge happens to me all the time. Only it's when I'm looking at greeting cards. What is this about paper products?
Paper thing.
Wow.
All right. So weird.
Yeah, that is a little weird one. I just love that this has a name and it's a woman's. That's what you're known for.
Yeah.
Hey,
it's better than not being known at all.
I don't know. It's like there's Lou Gehrig's disease and there's Mariko Aoki phenomenon, which is
fair enough.
far more preferable. It's like I just got to drop a deuce at Barnes & Noble every now and again. Are there other places that you find yourself where you realize I should have taken care of this at home, but I can't because I can only do it here? Something they call the Mariko Aoki phenomenon. A Japanese woman in 1985 wrote into a magazine and said, I have this weird thing where every time I walk into a bookstore, I have to drop a deuce. She needs to poop. And in this conversation, boy, apparently this is way more common than I would have realized. A whole lot of text messages coming in. 651-989-ROCK. We've had more than one person say, the poop urge happens, but it's when I'm looking at greeting cards.
What?
Several greeting card texts.
Greeting cards?
Used to happen whenever I was looking at greeting cards. I thought it had to do with the walk. It was about a block to get there. But now here's this one. A text came in. My friend's husband, Scott, has to take a dump every time he goes to Menards.
Oh,
wow.
I'm so glad this doesn't happen to me.
Could be a fertilizer thing?
I guess so. Another one, the poop urge happens to me all the time when I'm looking at greeting cards. The greeting card thing is shocking.
I wonder if the greeting cards is just because they're so poorly written.
There it is. When I was remodeling a house, I would have a long list of things to get at Menards every Saturday. As soon as I got the carts loaded, the knock started, and off to the bathroom stall I went. What's going on? What's going on with Menards? 651-989-ROCK. Have we got someone on the horn, Ryder?
Diane is on the phone.
Diane, good morning.
Good morning.
What do you got for us?
I definitely have had this since I was a child. I would go down in our basement in our house and immediately have to go back upstairs. Immediately.
Okay.
This isn't like you go in and just have have to go to the bathroom. This is immediately.
Wow.
A lot of books in the basement?
Yeah, and now I've had it my whole life. Bookstores, absolutely. In particular, used bookstores.
Oh, we have to have a plan. Like, she has to run for the bathroom 10 minutes into the bookstore.
Wow.
Who's chiming in there?
What was that?
Who's chiming in with you, Diane?
That's my husband.
Okay.
Who's had to deal with this our whole marriage.
Wow.
And we have to have, like, a serious plan whenever.
And I'm a big thrift shopper, and I have to plan my thrift shop to always start at a thrift store that has the nicest bathroom.
Wow. This is fascinating to me.
Okay, Diane, I've got a question. So subsequent, once you get it out, you're done.
Done. Absolutely done.
Thrift shops down the road, you don't have to do it again.
Correct.
Okay, it's just the first one, you get it out of the way. I want to just thank you two both for being so brave to share this with us.
Where's your favorite bathroom, Diane?
Hey, I'm just trying to raise awareness for this affliction.
No, where's your favorite bathroom, though? That's a great question. Where's your favorite bathroom?
Goodwill thrift stores have the nicest.
Wow.
Okay.
Good to know.
Right on. Thanks for the call, Diane. That is fascinating information.
Hey,
It's funny. I've never had an issue with using a public restroom of any sort, if I'm at a store or a restaurant, if you got to go, you got to go.
Yeah.
I've just never connected dots that it's at a certain time if it's in a certain store or if it's it doesn't happen often enough where I would have ever had to think about it. But I don't have a problem with using them. But I can't imagine that there's that moment when you realize, like I'm sure Diane did, of like, oh yeah, this is just what this is.
Yeah.
Nothing can be done about it.
I bet all of our radars are going to be up from now on, though. We're going to start tracking, you know what I mean?
Oh, heck
Where
yeah.
we're at and what happens.
Here's a text. What I want to know is if all you bookstore poopers are borrowing a book off the shelf for the session and then putting it back.
Can't bring merchandise into the bathroom.
That's usually why, I guess. Here's another one. I have to poop every time I go to Walmart. This is a thing.
This is so bizarre.
Man, that's crazy. My dad had some bathroom issues. He would come home from work to use the bathroom. He would drive across town.
I get that.
He was just like, not able to. And I remember as a kid, every now and again, like I would only be aware of that in the summer because I'm usually at school. But there'd be summer days sitting around. It'd be 10:30, 11 in the morning. We're watching Family Feud, and all of a sudden he's like, "Hey guys," and we're like, "Hey, what's up, Dad?" I was just on my way to a meeting. Thought I'd run in real quick, and he'd run back to his bathroom. And at some point, it did hit us. We were all like, "He's got a weird bathroom thing happening here."
My
What's
wife
going
does
on
the
with
same
it?
thing. My wife works a mile-ish away from home, and she'll be like, text me, heading home, got to go to the bathroom. Isn't there a perfectly good stall at work?
Hey, you know what? I feel, as someone who I said, I can go anywhere, anytime. I feel for someone that really has to, like,
100%,
can't
100%,
do this.
Yeah. It's just, it is weird, though. I mean, we can say that.
Man, this is a guy, Luke from Roseville says, I've always had a fear of taking a dump in a public bathroom. That's unfortunate, man. Sometimes you're just going to have to do that.
Think of the stress that you go through if you're somebody like that, and then realize, you know what? This is happening. I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
This is happening in a public restroom, and yet you have that phobia or that hang up, so to speak.
I remember seeing Dave Grohl in an interview. The guy went in 2007, 8-ish, as Foo Fighters became like that next level band. They're doing stadiums around the world, and someone said, is there any drawback to becoming this famous? Because he's, arguably the biggest rock star in the world. Pop stars might be more famous, but Dave has been the face of rock for a long time.
For sure.
And they said, is there a downside? And he goes, yeah, only one. And the guy said, what's that? He goes, I can't take a dump in a truck stop anymore. He's like, people are too aware. And I was like, yeah, that's a man right there who's keeping it real.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
Monday. I'm driving back from North Oaks. Went up to the old Gorman Center, a little dentistry trip. I'm driving back. I'm on 35W, and I am approaching. I'm in the center lane, and there's a car in the left lane, the passing lane, that's going nowhere near as fast as she should be driving. As it turns out, it's a young lady. And as I go by her, I can't help but look over. Like, what are you doing in the left lane going 51 miles an hour?
Sure.
Not eating, wolfing down what looked to be a plate of tacos. They look, I think, corn tortillas, look like an actual Mexican style, maybe from a taco truck.
Like a soft shell or
soft styrofoam plate with the foil peeled back. 3 or 4, what looked to me in the few seconds I took a look, holding it with her left hand, steering wheels operated with the right knee or with the left knee, and then the right hand is just right up there. I mean, she's got the plate up to her face, and she's just shoveling. And I'm like, wow. I wanted to honk, but it would have caused a crash.
Yeah.
If you're
then it made me want to honk more because boy, it pissed me off.
If you're that, oh my god, I see red when I see stuff like that. My face turns red and I want to just lose it. But if you're gonna eat that quickly, if you're shoveling it down your gullet, why not just pull over and shovel it down quick and then get back to driving?
I mean, if I had a dash cam, I might have thought about the honk. I might have gotten. I might have run her off the road. So it's a good thing I don't have a dash cam because then I would have uploaded it to one of those Instagram reels. It's just car crashes,
and
then I would have
totally be talking about it right now.
We would be. Remember that time Steve caused that poor girl to crash her car into the median because she was wolfing down tacos.
And tacos.
Turned out to be a 15-car pileup, and he's in jail now. And
look, but I don't like to throw. What is it? Throw a stone at a glass house. I've been distracted driving countless times, no question about it. But not in the left lane. That's really at the end of the day, it's the left lane that pissed me off. If I'm being honest, hey, get out of the left lane.
This is I look at this the same as I look at like murder versus manslaughter, right? Mm-hmm. You've maybe been distracted, but I'm guessing it wasn't premeditated. It was something that just happened.
Oh no! It's been I've been terrible.
Have you brought a 4-course dinner, steak and mashed potatoes into the car? And
I have eaten soup with a spoon out of a bowl while driving a car. That's a true story.
But you were, of course, in the right lane, which is the eating lane.
That makes it. That's the eating
lane. Yeah.
I don't mean like a bowl from home. I mean a to-go container, soup. But but it was not a brothy soup. It was a thicker. It was like a potato leek type soup. In my defense, Your Honor.
I feel like the rule with eating in the car is you have to be able to do it with one hand. So if you had the soup maybe like between your legs and are scooping and still have one hand on the wheel.
Well, what I had it was the left hand holding the bowl, right hand on the wheel, spoon in the bowl, and then the very quick scoop. But this has been a while. This is not recently.
You need to practice your distracted driving, man. Because I don't
do
think
remember
that's how you do it.
I do remember at one point thinking to myself, I'm eating soup while driving. It's probably not a great idea.
No. Yeah, that's not ideal. We want you around. Don't do that anymore,
But let me tell you
please.
something. Let me tell you something. You get a couple bites of potato leek down, you're not stopping. If it's done right. Oh, come on. I can eat soup 247, 365.
A couple weeks ago, I had a guy in front of me, not in the left lane. I'll give him that, but a little rambunctious in the lane he was in, and I finally got it around him, went to the left lane, and passed him in full blown shaving. I like the whole shaving / putting on makeup.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Shaving, like buzzing with a razor, or did he have the cream and stuff?
No.
There was
a guy in the passenger seat who was buttering him up. No, it was just the electric thing that gathers the whiskers and all that. Yeah.
The thing Santa used to drive in every year.
Still just dump on it. Had the mirror down and everything. Like just unbelievable.
The National Traffic Safety Board folks put out a map of the most distracted driving hotspots. And it's most of the Southwest, which, of course, it's fine. There's no curves, there's no hills, and there's no one on the roads.
No, and there's no weather.
Busting across New Mexico, you're just begging to see another car every 40 minutes. So go ahead, get some soup, get some tacos, but bring it to New Mexico.
It's Gorman in the Morning with Fletcher and Ryder, 92 KQRS.
That's how that goes. Hey, it's time to play a game. Well, a little something we call WTF, Wisconsin, Texas, Florida. We've got Stevie Nicks tickets on the table to give away. So here's how this is going to work. Paul Fletcher is going to share some stories with us that he's dug up. Stories from Wisconsin, from Texas, from Florida, and then we have to guess which state is responsible for this possible malfeasance, if you will.
Correct. And to specify, there is one from each.
Okay, very good to know.
It's not, you don't have to. That I was explaining. I'm still learning. This is still a pretty new game to me.
Yeah.
But as you guys told me, you don't have to have them be one from each, but ideally that's the case. And so I did find one from each.
All right, so we're going to listen to these. Ryder and I will then try to determine if we know where these are from, but then we're going to ask somebody else to play for tickets. But for right now, just listen. We're not looking for solutions yet. We're going to take them all in one at a time.
All right, the first one, two guys got picked up after burglarizing some homes and decided a vehicle with a makeshift cardboard license plate was the best getaway car. Here's what it goes.
We're out with a vehicle right now. We have both of them at gunpoint.
Deputies catching up to two burglary suspects. The sheriff's office says stole thousands of dollars in jewelry and a gun from 3 homes. Investigators saying a fourth home on South Trail, Chad Dulett and Anthony Sosa were not able to break into. Reported them getting away in a Dodge Ram with cardboard where the license plate should be.
I couldn't make out the tag. Maroon pickup listed. Looks like it's got a cardboard tag.
It's hard to make out from its dash camera video, but the sheriff's office says the cardboard has the words "stolen tag" written across it.
People who commit crimes like these are not the sharpest tools in the shed.
There, you got that right.
Not the sharpest tools in the shed.
The only sharp criminals are the ones you've never heard of.
That's right.
Always the reminder.
All right, number two. Some grandparents were approached by assailants in clown masks and with a machete, and they fought them off with a kid's scooter.
I'm sitting there talking to my wife, and next thing I know, when I look up, I see somebody running towards me.
I love
with
this
this
dude.
white clown mask on and a machete. He reached his hand through the window, put it on my throat like this, and like, you know what it is, come on with it, get it up. And I'm looking at him like, dude, you serious? You really trying to rob me with a machete?
And my husband looked at them and looked at me and like, nah, man, I can't believe y'all trying to rob me with a machete. Any weapon is good for me. If I can get you off of me and my husband, that's what I'm going to do. All right. So I used the scooter, broke it in half. Me and my husband held them down and, commenced to beating them until the laws came. It was really scary, but it was, like I said, it was either us or them, and not us. You're not finna steal no money. We ain't got no money.
That's right.
Man, commence to beating them. Young thieves, literally, don't mess with old people. They don't care.
No, they don't.
They're going to bring the whole bag of clubs at you.
Those two are by far my favorite. All right, last but not least, a guy was watching his neighbor's dogs, wanted to prank her, so he got into his panda costume that he purchased and walked around her security cameras. Well, it freaked out another one of his neighbors. Here's how it sounds.
911. And do you have a description of the person?
It's a big teddy bear.
It's a big what? I'm sorry?
Teddy bear. Honest to God.
Somebody dressed as a teddy bear?
Yep.
Okay. We do have officers that are going to be in the area in just a moment.
I knew that my neighbors had a security camera set up. And I thought, well, I'm going to make the ordinary extraordinary. I'm going to dress up in the panda outfit. So just as I was about to pivot up and walk up my lawn, I turn around and I see at least 3 squad cars with a 4th and a 5th coming. I paid about $125 for this costume. I'm going to get my money's worth.
And by the way, he's in the costume on camera while he's doing the interview.
Very nice. All right.
Gotta get his money's worth.
What's that?
Gotta get his money's worth.
Yeah,
like you said.
get my money's worth by freaking out the neighborhood, apparently.
I like this. Okay, so we got the cardboard license plate getaway, if you will. The scooter commenced to beating on the guy in a clown mask, and then you got the dude in the teddy bear.
Yep.
Wisconsin, Texas, Florida. Where do you think the correct answers are? Paul has provided us with a few stories to mull over. So here's what we're going to do. Ryder and I are going to let you know what we think the answers are, and then we will see if we can get a caller to come in.
We got Michelle locked in. She's got it right. She'll let us know.
Well, fair enough. Yeah. That's exciting.
She's on it. I love that.
Well, so Michelle, we got at least one smart person in the world. Okay, so to recap the 3 stories, there was the getaway car with the cardboard license plate that said stolen tag. Yeah. Ryder, where do you think that went down?
Oh, let's get Michelle here so she'll give us the answers. The license plate with the stolen tag, he said lifted truck, so I feel like that eliminates Wisconsin. I went with Texas. Steve, what do you have?
I went with Florida. I took Florida on that one. Michelle, are you with us?
Yep, I'm here. I think it's Florida, too.
That's correct.
That's it.
It is Florida.
Put it on my digger.
You got it. Way to go, Michelle.
Boom.
Fly high, Michelle, like the Enough's Enough guys said back in the day. All right, number 2. The grandparents attacked by a dude in a clown mask, and they beat him off with a scooter.
That's
pretty
people.
great.
Yeah.
It's just too much craziness. I went with Florida.
You went with Florida.
That's what I did.
I went with the Lone Star State, Texas. Michelle, where are we coming from in this story?
I'm with Texas, too.
Hey, Michelle, you're from Randolph, which is by Northfield, and that means you're really smart. That's correct.
Wow. I'm liking the way this is going so far.
Yeah, well, there's only one left, and there's only one choice left. It sounds like you guys are on the... You're on it.
We can smell a story from Wisconsin a mile. Everybody was too nice in this one. The guy volunteering to watch his neighbors.
Yeah.
All of the cops showing up. That's just too many people for Florida or Texas. 3 cop cars? Come on.
And they also said teddy bear. So it was like, it was pretty thick there,
Go ahead and lay it on us, Michelle. Even though we know, I want to hear you say it.
Wisconsin.
Atta girl.
Michelle, you get to go see Stevie Nicks.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, thank you. Enjoy that, which is a silly thing to say because obviously that will be a very enjoyable show. Right on, Michelle, coming in strong from Randolph.
And thanks for listening, too.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
If you got a good roommate story or a bad roommate story, we'd love to hear it. 651-989-ROCK. The reason this is on my mind... a man in his 20s has gone to social media to ask for advice. And here's the story. This is completely insane. His roommate walked into the house. Okay, so I'll just put it in personal terms. You're at home. Mm-hmm. You have a life. You have a roommate. You leave. Your roommate comes in, and he sees a piece of cake that you've made and that you've placed in the fridge. Mm-hmm. And your roommate says, hey, I'm going to take a piece of this cake that it's not mine. But whatever. I mean, I'm assuming they probably get along. He just helps himself to a piece of cake.
Right.
The problem is the piece of cake caused the guy who took it to have an allergic reaction. He did. At no point did he call his roommate and go, "Hey, what's in this cake you left in the fridge? Hey, make sure you didn't put that thing I'm allergic to in it," which happened to be some nuts.
Or just, don't help yourself to my cake.
Well, there's that too.
Yeah.
So the roommate ate the piece of cake. The roommate had a bad allergic reaction. The roommate had to call 911. They had to hit him with an EpiPen. Apparently, because he has a peanut allergy, and he didn't think to double check with that, the cake did include peanut butter. The roommate who stole the cake, the roommate with the peanut allergy, the roommate who got sick stealing cake from his other buddy, is now asking the roommate to pay his medical bills because he says, "You poisoned me by putting peanut butter in your cake." Okay.
What? Sorry?
I don't have all of the details on how close these two guys are. Well, I'm assuming they're not very close at all, because if you have a roommate and you know he has a peanut allergy, generally speaking, you probably wouldn't have nuts around, or you'd get a new roommate because you want to have nuts around. I'm assuming they're not that close, because
they must not
either
be.
way, dude, if you have a nut allergy, why would you eat anything that you aren't 100% sure is nut free?
That, and if they are close, then roommate who ate cake sends buddy quick text, "Hey, can I have a piece of your cake?"
You would
B,
think.
Is it safe for me to eat? Blah, blah, blah. Also, where is Buddy's EpiPen that he keeps in his own home because he's got these known allergies? That's another thing.
The point is, the guy is asking for his bills to be covered.
No!
Yeah, the answer is no.
No, not even close, bruh.
Sorry. Can't see it happening. We do have a caller. 651-989 Rock is the KQ Talk text line. John from Somerset. John, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Steve. How are you?
I'm great, brother. What do you got for us?
All right. I used to manage a restaurant in western Wisconsin, and I lived in Egan.
Okay.
I had some roommates that were going to Brown. And I was on my way home from work. I got home. I walked in the door, and there one of my roommates was watching the entirety of the Trapped in a Closet video, sitting on the couch with a jar of mayonnaise and a spoon, cross-legged, just like it was his best friend.
Wow.
Wait, Trapped in the Closet, that's the R. Kelly thing? The R. Kelly videos?
And that sucker, he had it on VHS, and he was watching all of the segments. Like,
it's like R. Kelly's soap opera, his musical soap opera series, and the guy's eating mayonnaise out of a jar?
Yeah. Just a little jar of Hellman's and a spoon.
I mean, this is what you get when your roommate's from Brown, the broadcast school of Minneapolis.
The first indicator is don't live with broadcasting students. My God. Oh, wow. Man. What do you say to that? Or do you just go into your room and shut the door and put a dresser across the front so nobody can get in there?
Something like that.
Something like that.
The same roommate, when it came time for him to mow the lawn, he went out to go. We all stayed in. We were smoking a blunt. And I look out the window, and there he is, just like you're vacuuming the floor, just radiating the lawnmower out from one central location.
Oh my!
I don't think I've ever laughed so hard in my life.
It's just...
that's good stuff. John, thank you for the call, man. We appreciate you chiming in. I had a roommate, a guy that I'm still friends with. So, but before I knew him and he had some quirks. He's an odd fella. He still is, but he's a good guy. But I walked into the house one night, and it was early evening, late afternoon. So it was like sun was just going down. But I opened the door, and there was no lights on in the house, so it was darker in the house than it was outside. When you do that, you come in a little darker in the house, and I just opened the front door, not a light on anywhere, and from the back of the house, the kitchen, I just heard this every about 6 seconds. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? I thought, is someone breaking the back windows? Is someone trying to break in the kitchen door? What? And I'm like, hello? And then I said hello a couple times, and I hear this, yeah. And I'm like, oh, that's my guy. That's Sean. I walk into the kitchen. He's standing in a kitchen that's even darker than the front of the house was. He's about 10 feet away from the kitchen sink. It was an old house, and it was a very deep, deep sink. And he had a whole lot of drinking glasses arranged on the counter, and he was just one at a time picking them up and throwing them at a high arch into the sink where they would shatter.
What?
Every 6 or 7 seconds, just lobbing them. And I was like, I watched him do like 2 of them after he'd already thrown at least 5 or 6. And I'm standing behind him, and I just went, Bud, are we okay here? And he was like, just had a bad day. And he was just calmly throwing the glasses to shatter in the sink. And I go, why are you throwing glasses in the sink? And his answer was, so most of the glass is easy to clean up. Like he was thinking about like, I just was okay, I guess that's good.
Just draining threes, basically.
Oh, man.
At least he did the dishes.
Ooh, man, that's something right there.
Wow,
Think
man,
about
that's
it. At least he did. Great and or horrifically weird roommate moments. Some better than others. Doug texted in, my roommate freshman year read my mail that I kept in a stack on my nightstand. I found out because he complained to a mutual friend that I had written to another friend that my roommate was in fact an a-hole. The friend had written back asking why I thought he was an a-hole, and that's the letter he read.
Wow.
Our mutual friend looked at him and said, you read his mail? And then he told me about the incident, and I just laughed. He pretty much proved my point right there.
Oh, yeah.
I had a roommate once who accused me of reading a letter. He said, hey, did you get that? Did you take that letter? And I said, what are you talking about? And he told me that so-and-so said this is back when you would mail things in the U.S. mail. He said, so-and-so, some girl sent me a letter, and I never got it. And I went, well, what's that have to do with me? He goes, do you get the mail every day? Did you take it? Did you read it? And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? And it was like for months, he was always suspicious of me. And I thought that's the weirdest thing ever. But I couldn't get rid of him because we were in a band. But anyway, that's one of those funny things.
I said, well, there's that.
Yeah. Any roommates in your past?
You know, this one. So I had one roommate myself that we're not going to get into because it's nothing fun. But I had a friend who lived with a bunch of guys down in Uptown in like my early 20s, a couple of years out of high school, and, just getting after it, living together. He had one guy named Ron. My friend will remain nameless, but there was a dude there in the house named Ron who was just absolutely nuts.
Okay.
And he apparently, I just happened to be there when this happened. He apparently got sick and tired of people. It's funny because it all started, and this is what made me think of it, with somebody eating a roommate's cake, right?
Okay.
He said, I'm sick and tired of shopping for myself, putting stuff in the fridge, and you guys taking it. And so he goes, see this gallon of milk?
Yeah.
This is mine. And if y'all want to try and drink it, I kid you not, drops his drawers, dunks his junk into the milk.
Nice.
To mark his territory, essentially, saying, if you wanna have the milk.
Look what I'm doing here.
That's Francis Sawyer level from Stripes right there.
Yeah.
Touch any of my stuff and I'll kill you.
Yeah.
That's where I thought that was going.
He's like, you're welcome to have this milk. And then he went ahead and dunked his unit.
Well,
Did anybody drink his milk afterwards?
I can tell you. I mean, I'm never happier than when I'm drinking a glass of my own junk dip milk. I mean, that's just me. I didn't know that was other. I thought that was just me. Like literally, just me. I can't believe someone else had the same philosophy.
Very happy I didn't live in that house.
92 KQRS.
There's a restaurant in Charleston, South Carolina that is offering something they're calling Smoisters. It's just how you got to say it like you're curly. Smoisters.
Yeah.
Smoisters are a s'more oyster combination. It's an oyster dessert.
Crazy.
An actual oyster on the half shell with a s'more on top with a melted melted marshmallow
Mushroom
on
might
top.
make more sense.
It would make more sense. I will try anything generally, but I don't need an oyster with a s'more on top. I'm a fan of oysters. I can deal with the s'more, but I'm not a sweet guy. I don't get excited at the thought of a s'more. But it led us to thinking about weird food combinations. And my, oh my, on the KQ Talking text line, 651-989-ROCK, no shortage of odd combos. I like this one. Peanut butter, cheese, jalapenos, pickles, hot sauce, rolled up in a tortilla.
That is really solid.
I mean, that's if you're rolling it up in a tortilla, you got to have a lot of you got to have your base, and none of those feel like the base. So you got to. I imagine that's a lot of peanut butter. I'm just imagining that to be the case.
Yeah.
Our buddy Tubby wrote, "My dad always grossed us out when he would make supper and include his culinary masterpiece: baked beans mixed with mayonnaise." Oh, that makes my skin crawl. No,
I can do
don't
that.
say yeah.
Creamy baked beans? Let's go.
It's disgusting.
That sounds good.
Baked beans are one of God's perfect creations they are.
I'm with Tubby. I mean, I can still eat them like just by themselves, but that sounds like a cool twist. I like that a lot, actually.
Most stuff is better when you put mayonnaise with it.
No, see, I'm of the exact opposite opinion. Don't ruin a good meal by introducing mayonnaise to the table.
Well, like sauces, ketchup and mayonnaise, mustard and mayonnaise.
Baked beans and mayonnaise. Yeah, that sounds good. I like it. Let's get on that.
Brian texted in peanut butter and summer sausage sandwich. Peanut butter and summer sausage.
I mean,
that's you're kicking it right there.
Starting to find out that, like you talked about in Minnesota, it seems like pickles go with everything. Starting to sound that peanut butter goes with everything as well.
Apparently so. My husband slices a banana long ways and puts mayonnaise and walnuts on it, sandwich style. Again, with the mayo. It's just a thing. I can never get around to it. We talked about drinking pickle juice. Someone wrote pickle juice is great for cramps.
Yeah.
Accurate.
It's actually
is that accurate?
Yeah.
Diabetes management, digestion, dehydration, probiotics, all kinds of heartburn, all kinds of gut health, all kinds of stuff for the pickle juice.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I looked that up. Yeah, I looked that up earlier when Ryder said that. I was like, she was not kidding. Holy moly.
Yeah.
Well, as I said, my grandma Gertrude, I mean, there's a reason she lived as long and as heartily as she did, and that's because she drained every time the last pickle was taken, whatever juice was left went right down the gullet, man.
Chug a lug.
Gertrude had no problem chugging the pickle juice. My favorite of the day from Rose, my daughter's best friend would always get 2 slices of garlic bread and put a piece of chocolate cake smack in the middle of it. Garlic bread and chocolate cake. Good God almighty.
No, I don't think so.
Carb loading for that marathon right there.
I'm telling you what, you sure are.
Gorman in the morning is also Gorman on the go. Get the 92 KQRS app and stream live or catch the Gorman in the morning podcast anytime. 92 KQRS.